Hello. Today's topic was expressed as the purpose of practice. Now, um if I'm going to go into that topic in this video, then we probably have to talk about practice and many other things. So I'm just going to talk about purpose, and then if you get anything out of this, then you can of course apply it to your practice, whatever that might be. So I'd like to start these inquiries, these contemplations, by looking at some definitions. And I don't usually just look at one. I look at several and try to find the one that resonates best with me. So yeah, of course, this is everything that I tell you on all these videos is just my perception. Um, so take that, remember that. It doesn't mean it is this way. It just is one more perspective that might be able to add to your perspective, so that we can have a better understanding of such things, and in this case purpose. So um, so the one definition I saw that I liked was, or I don't know if I liked it, but it resonated with me, was the reason for existing. Right? That's the purpose. What is the purpose of anything? Okay, the purpose is that it is the reason it exists. Now, that's really a bizarre thing to say, because, um, like, here's a leaf, right? Dead leaf. I don't know how long that's been there, but there it is. What is the purpose of that? And you can say lots of things about it, um, and you can even look at a live leaf, and you can say what the purpose of that thing is. Rocks and birds and trees, and then of course people, and then of course yourself. So what is the purpose of anything? Well, I've been thinking about it, and I don't think anything has a purpose. I think the purpose is um, assigned to it by an individual, right? So if I say the purpose of that leaf is for feeding bacteria, you might say the purpose of the dead leaf is to maintain ground moisture, So it could be different things, but it would be that the individual who is talking about it assigns the purpose of it, right? Are you with me on this one? So, um, purpose. I mean, who's going to decide what the purpose of something is? It has to be you, right? Either you do it alone or collectively. So, um, so I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, what is the purpose of? Now, let me just say this first. When I try to understand things, I like to go really simple first, really, really simple. So if I say, what is the purpose of up, right? The purpose of up can be assigned many things, like we said, but it can also be looked at. The purpose of up is to accent down, right? So if there was no down, there would be no up, right? In both ways, it works the same way. But the purpose of up might well be the illumination, um, the awareness of down, right? So that's possible to look at it this way. And you can do that with any kind of pairs of things, right and left, and good and bad, right? What is the purpose of bad things, Let's look at really bad things, Like classic is Adolf Hitler killing all these people and trying to be world dominant. What the hell is the purpose of having a guy like that on the planet? Well, you can see what happened. The most bad thing, okay, bad, accented all the good stuff, right? It brought all people together to fight against injustice, fight against prejudice and tyranny, So um, for a long time, the world rode pretty well on that aftermath of that evil act, that evil existence, that evil purpose, which we call Adolf Hitler. Um, and so the other way to look at it is to think that, well, what is the purpose of good? The purpose of good would be also to show what is bad in a way. So let's say you get clean water in your house, and you're drinking the water, and all of a sudden something bad happens. The water is contaminated through something, and then you can't drink that water anymore. And you have to boil it, you have to cook it, and maybe in the end it gets fixed. Then what happens? Well, you have a deep appreciation that you got clean water to drink from your faucet, right? So the bad thing will also accent the good things, and it would, in a way, improve your relationship to the water. It will improve your relationship to this balance of good and bad. So what is the purpose of you? This is kind of like a classic one. Why am I here? Why do I exist? And I'm like I started with. I said this is for you to decide. Your purpose, your existence, your reason for existing is up to you. You have to find that out. I can't tell you that. Nobody can tell you the purpose of why you are here. Nobody can tell you the purpose of why you practice what you do. But we can talk about some things that are similar in understanding purpose. We can talk about maybe some common things about how an inquiry into the purpose of a practice might well be common for the people making practices, although the purpose will not be common. The purpose will probably be very individual. Even if I have some people that like to do Aikido, and say that even in that class there's even two people that like self-defense arts, so their purpose to come there is to learn self-defense art. Now each of them has the same purpose, but they don't, because each individual has their own standpoint, their own perception of what that means. So they may well hit it off really well together, become great friends, and have discussions and find out more and more and more, but their original purpose looks the same, but it's not going to be the same. It can't be, according to my definition. So how do we find our purpose? Do we even want to find our purpose? And if you go a long enough time, and I've been around for some years, and you don't feel like you have any direction, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you want to do, you're wandering aimlessly, which can be a purpose as well. There are many vagabond kind of people, or hobos, whatever, that's what they want, and that's good. But if you don't really know what you're going to do, and you don't even feel like you don't know, you don't even feel like, that's a hard way to say it. If your purpose is unknown, and you're just wandering around with nothing to do, you're going to feel unfulfilled. You might feel unfulfilled in the end. And for a little while, it's probably okay. It feels good, actually, just not to have anything special to do. But in the end, something's going to happen. Something's going to shake you up a little bit and make you either say, okay, why am I here? Or what is my mission here, And the answers to these, they're going to start coming probably really generally, culturally, in the start. And then you can get more and more refined. And that would be, to me, the purpose of practice in one way, is to refine your idea of yourself in a way, or to remove the idea of yourself and find the essence of yourself. No, well, I may not get personal again. That's my idea. But anyway, through inquiry, you refine. You look deeper into things. You get a better understanding. So even though purposes can be the same, they can be related to the same, they will be different, but they will have commonalities when you go into them, right? Because just by the definition, right? So if we take the definition, I'm repeating myself, but that's okay, that your purpose is defined by you, my purpose is defined by me. So even though we're going to have different purposes, we're going to have different definition, different ways to define it, we will have commonalities. And they would be, for example, inquiry. You can ask why, right? And then when asking the why, then you have to start removing layers to find out what is actually this about, you know? Is it about this? And you look at it and you say, well, it appears to be like this, but because that's there, also this one's here, right? Like I was talking about the up and down. And then you look at both of those things. And those things together might be offset by two other things, you know? So, yeah, through the inquiry, you will become a little more perceptive. Your perception will increase about who you are and what you're doing and how you do it. Eventually, why you do it. If there's ever going to be a why, there might not be. You might go around your life and have no purpose. Your purpose might be no purpose, right? So, So the purpose of practice, the purpose of you, purpose of being, it's up to you. You have to find out what that is. That's the journey. That's life. So have a good journey.